Welcome to Damn Good Movie Memories with your host, Brian Davis. This podcast is the cure for your long commute and super boring workday. Hey there, it's Brian Davis, and for this week's episode, we're going to cover the movie Lost Horizon from 1937. The studio was Columbia Pictures. Release date was March 2nd, 1937. That's actually the San Francisco premiere. I couldn't find the nationwide release date. The running time, 132 minutes, and it was in black and white, but we'll get into the various run times in a bit. Leonard Maltin from his Classic Movie Guide gives it 4 out of 4 stars. He writes, James Hilton's classic story about 5 people stumbling into a strange Tibetan land where health, peace, and longevity reign. A rare movie experience with a haunting finale. Now, I first discovered this film during a Frank Capra film festival at the wonderful Stanford Theater in Palo Alto, California. Now, casual Capra fans will know his work, like It's a Wonderful Life and It Happened One Night and Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. However, his finest film just might be Lost Horizon, which says a lot. Because I didn't even mention his other films, like You Can't Take It With You and Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, Meet John Doe, or Arsenic and Old Lace. He really was one of the best directors of his generation. All right, let's get into the making of the film. So as I mentioned, there were some runtime issues. The original premiere runtime and the eventual restored runtime, again, was 132 minutes. But when the film was first released to the general public, it was shortened to 118 minutes because the head of Columbia Pictures, Harry Cohn, felt the movie was far too long at 132 minutes. Then, during its re-release in 1942, it was edited even further to 110 minutes and retitled The Lost Horizon of Shangri-La. Then, in 1948, it was restored back to 118 minutes. But once the advent of television came to fruition in the 1950s, the only copy that was available was a butchered version of only 92 minutes. And that version took out many scenes that were viewed as potential communist-leaning ideals. It was the Red Scare of the 1950s. But the original nitrate camera negative had deteriorated so badly that no full-length versions were known to survive by 1967. In 1973, the restoration of the film began when AFI, that's the American Film Institute, began looking throughout the world in the film archives for all the surviving versions of the film. Because of this effort, a complete 132-minute soundtrack was retrieved, but 7 minutes of the picture were missing, with the newfound quality widely ranging from excellent to poor. From the extensive restoration that took place in 1986 and 1998, the film was released on DVD in the late 1990s. But some of the missing frames were replaced with frozen frames and existing on-set publicity still photos to kind of fill in the gaps, and that's what my DVD has. So once the U.S. became involved in World War II after the bombing of Pearl Harbor by Japan, there were changes to the film, specifically the intro, to make it sound like the Japanese were the invaders of China, instead of a sub-faction of revolutionaries inside China itself. Ronald Colman was one of the top and respected actors of his era. He had the looks and the voice which made transition from silent films to talkies very easy, unlike other actors who didn't have the vocal chops. Film-wise, in the 1930s leading up to Lost Horizon, Colman starred in a few notable literary adaptations like Aerosmith, no, not that Aerosmith, and A Tale of Two Cities. He also starred in a few Bulldog Drummond films. Colman would continue to have success on film throughout the 40s and 50s, along with radio shows, starring with his wife Benita in The Halls of Ivy, along with very funny guest appearances on The Jack Benny Show, playing Jack's long-suffering next-door neighbor. As for Jane Wyatt, her fame would come much later on television, though she would appear in many films throughout the 1940s. She would be best known for playing Margaret Anderson, the wife and mother in Father Knows Best, co-starring with Robert Young. She would later play Spock's human mother on the original Star Trek series. As Leonard Maltin mentioned, the film is based on the 1933 novel written by James Hilton. It was not immediately successful. But after the success of his next novel, which was called Goodbye, Mr. Chips, interest in Lost Horizon then occurred. This isn't unusual. A similar thing happened to John Grisham. His first novel, A Time to Kill, was not a hit, but his next novel, The Firm, really was, which led to a newfound interest in A Time to Kill. Now, Frank Capra read the novel to Lost Horizon while filming his biggest hit to date, which was It Happened One Night with Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert. Capra only wanted Ronald Colman to play the lead role of Robert Conway and waited for him to become available. And this is why he chose to film Mr. Deeds Goes to Town before Lost Horizon. The characters of Sandra and Lovett do not appear in the original novel. They were added to the screenplay for romantic interest and comic relief. Okay, let's get into the film. So it opens with the following message. In these days of wars and rumors of wars, haven't you ever dreamed of a place where there was peace and security, where living was not a struggle, but a lasting delight? Of course you have. So has every man since time began. Always the same dream. Sometimes he calls it utopia. Sometimes the fountain of youth. Sometimes merely that little chicken farm. One man had such a dream, and he saw it come true. He was Robert Conway, England's man of the East, soldier, diplomat, public hero. Our story starts in the war-torn Chinese city of Baskul, where Robert Conway has been sent to evacuate 90 white people before they are butchered in a local revolution. Baskul, the night of March 10, 1935. So we go to the Baskul airfield, and we see Robert trying to help as many people evacuate as possible. However, the small planes only fit a maximum of 7 passengers. Robert tries to calm the people trying to evacuate, which is not easy, as you can imagine. Women and children are evacuated first. The chaos of the situation causes the lights to go out, making it impossible for the planes to land on the airstrip. Robert burns lanterns and starts a large fire in order to give light to the plane. A larger plane arrives but is overtaken and hijacked by a local revolutionary, unbeknownst to Robert. After a struggle, the plane departs, and the passengers on the plane include a British paleontologist named Lovett, that's Edward Everett Horton, an annoying man named Bernard, played by Thomas Mitchell, a very ill woman named Gloria, played by Isabel Jewell, and then Robert and his brother George, played by John Howard. After a few too many drinks, Robert confides in George his disgust with the state of the world and the rampant wars.
Oh, Freshy. Did you make that report out yet?
Yes, Bob.
Did you say we saved 90 white people?
Yes.
Good. Hooray for us. Did you say that we left 10,000 natives down there to be annihilated? No. No, you wouldn't say that. They don't count.
You'd better try to get some sleep, Bob.
Just you wait till I'm Foreign Secretary. Can't you just see me, Freshy, with all those other shrewd little Foreign Secretaries? You see, the trick is to see who can out-talk the other. Everybody wants something for nothing. And if you can't get it with smooth talk, you send your army in. But I'm going to fool them, Freshy. I'm not going to have an army. I'm going to disband mine. I'm going to sink my battleships. I'm going to destroy every piece of warcraft. Then when the enemy approaches, we'll say, "Come in, gentlemen, what can we do for you?" So then the poor enemy soldiers will stop and think. And what will they think, Freshy? They'll say to themselves, "There's something wrong here. We've been duped. This is not according to form. These people seem quite friendly, and why should we shoot them?" Then they'll lay down their arms. You see how simple the whole thing is? Centuries of tradition kicked right in the pants. And I'll be slapped straight into the nearest insane asylum.
You'd better not drink anymore, Bob. You're not talking sense.
Don't worry, George. Nothing's going to happen. I'll fall right into line. I'll be the good little boy that everybody wants me to be. I'll be the best little foreign secretary we've ever had. Just because I haven't the nerve to be anything else.
You try to sleep, Bob.
Sleep, yes. Good thing, sleep. Ever noticed the sunrise in China, George? You should. It's beautiful.
In the morning, Barnard and Lovett discovered they are flying the opposite direction of Shanghai, their intended destination. It's then the native revolutionary pilot makes his presence known, along with a gun pointed at Robert when he knocks on the door of the cockpit.
Charming chap.
I suppose to meet in a dark alley.
Well, that's that, I guess.
Wonder what happened to Fenner?
Yes. Who is he? How'd he get there?
Do you suppose we stopped someplace during the night and changed pilots?
No, that's not possible. If we had landed, we'd all have been awakened.
Why, of course. Oh, we never left the air. I know. I didn't sleep the whole night long.
No, that fellow got on at bat school.
Well, what's he doing? Where's he taking us? He may be a maniac, for all we know.
Now, George, what are you going to do?
Now drag him out and force him to tell us what his game is.
Good. What if he refuses?
Well, we'll smash his face in. That's what we'll do.
Brilliant. Can anyone here fly a plane? Now, George, that's no good. I guess we're in for it.
In for what?
I don't know. He must have had some purpose in taking the plane away from Fenner. When he lands, we'll find out.
You mean to tell me you're not going to do anything until we land?
What do you suggest?
Why, he may dash us to pieces.
Well, it might afford you a great deal of relief. Now, gentlemen, I'm going back to sleep. Oh, and I was having such a peaceful dream. As soon as he lands, let me know.
Robert gets his wish soon enough as the plane lands in a village. Instead of getting out of the plane, the armed villagers seem to recognize the pilot, and they refuel the plane like they were expecting it. Soon, the plane is off again, but none of the passengers know where. The officials at the Shanghai airport are alerted that Robert's plane is missing, and a search has started to find the hijacked plane, as Robert is an important diplomat. After flying deep into the Himalayas, the plane begins to stall, either due to the snowy weather or empty fuel tanks. The plane crashes, but all the passengers are safe, with one exception. The hijacker pilot is dead. Robert and George search the pilot and find the map. They believe the plane landed in an unexplored country near Tibet.
Well, what do you say?
Well, everything's all right. The pilot won't trouble us anymore. He's dead.
Dead?
Probably a heart attack.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, there's nothing we can do until the morning. The storm will probably die down before then. My suggestion is that we'd better all try and get a good night's rest.
Why don't you tell them the truth? Why don't you tell them we're a million miles from civilization with no chance of getting out of here alive? It's slow starvation, that's what it is. A slow, horrible death.
Well, that's perfect. Just perfect. What a kick I'm going to get out of this. A year ago, a doctor gave me 6 months to live. That was a year ago. I'm already 6 months to the good. I'm on velvet. I haven't got a thing to lose. But you, the noble animals of the human race. What a kick I'm going to get out of watching you squirm for a change. What a kick.
While Gloria believes for good reason the group is done for, another group of locals is seen coming down the mountains, led by a man named Chang, played by H.B. Warner.
I am from a nearby La Missouri. My name is Chang.
Are you speaking English?
English.
And mine's Conway.
How do you do?
You've no idea, sir, how unexpected and very welcome you are. My friends and I, and a lady in the plane, left Baskool the night before last for Shanghai. Suddenly found ourselves traveling in the opposite direction.
At the mercy of a mad pilot.
We'd be eternally grateful if you could...
Where is your mad pilot?
He must have had a heart attack. Or perhaps the fumes. When the plane landed, he was dead.
We were just going to bury him when you came along.
Pardon me. Hallyu, young enough.
So, if you would be good enough to direct us to your La Missouri...
I should consider it an honor to accompany you and your friends. You will need suitable clothes for the journey. It is not particularly far, but quite difficult.
Thank you.
After a treacherous journey through the windy and snowy mountains, they arrive at a beautiful valley which is completely sheltered from the harsh weather. Chang informs Robert the place is called Shangri-La. The land is perfectly manicured with fresh grass and trees, free-flowing water, and a huge palace. Even though the place is seemingly perfect, with gourmet-style food served to them after their long trip, Levitt believes the group is being fattened up to be slaughtered. Bernard doesn't care and is happy as can be. Gloria isn't trusting either, but Chang tries to help her.
Is there something I can do for you?
What do you want?
I've ordered you some warm broth. I thought perhaps...
You get out of here. If any of you men think you can come busting in here, get...
Oh, please. Please calm yourself. You'll soon be well if you do.
I don't need any advice from you. Get me a doctor.
I'm sorry, we have no doctors here.
No doctors. Oh, that's fine. That's just fine.
Please let me help you.
Sure you can help me. You can help me jump over that cliff. I've been looking and looking at the bottom of that mountain, but I haven't got the nerve to jump.
You shouldn't be looking at the bottom of the mountain. Why don't you try looking up at the top sometime?
Don't preach that cheap second-hand stuff to me. Go on, beat it. Beat it!
Peace be with you, my child. Good evening, my friends. Oh, no, please sit down. I hope you found everything satisfactory.
Swell.
Excellent. You shouldn't have waited for me.
Well, where's the girl? Miss Stone?
She's remaining in her room. She isn't feeling very well. Now, please go on without me. I eat very little.
Well, certainly nothing wrong with that meal.
Oh, thank you.
And the wine, excellent.
I'm glad you like it. It's made right here in the valley.
Well, now the dinner is over, if you'll excuse us, we're very anxious to discuss ways and means of getting back home.
The first thing we want to do is cable the Foreign Office. All of England's waiting to hear about my brother. There's a cruiser at Shanghai ready to take him back.
Really? Well, as regards cabling, I'm afraid I can't help. Unfortunately, we have no wireless here. As a matter of fact, we have no means of communication with the outside world.
Not even a radio?
It has always been a source of deep regret, but the mountains surrounding us have made reception almost impossible.
Well, then we'd better make arrangements to get some porters immediately. Some means to get us back to civilization.
Are you so certain you are away from it?
As far away as I ever want to be.
Oh, dear.
Well, of course, the porters will be very well paid. That is within reason.
I'm afraid that wouldn't help. You see, we have no porters here.
No porters here?
No.
What about those men we met this morning?
Yes.
Oh, those are our own people. They never venture beyond the point where you were met this morning. It is much too hazardous.
Well, how do you account for all this? Who brought it in?
Oh, yes. Yes, there is a tribe of porters some 500 miles from here. That is our only contact with the outside world. Every now and again, depending upon favorable weather, of course, they make the journey.
Well, how can we get in touch with them?
Well, in that respect, you are exceedingly fortunate. We are expecting a shipment from them almost any time now.
Just what do you mean by almost any time now?
Well, we've been expecting this particular shipment for the past 2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
Well,
but I assure you, gentlemen, if there is a prolonged delay, Shangri-La will endeavor to make your stay as pleasant as possible. And now, if you will excuse me, it is getting late. I do hope you all sleep well. Good night. Good night. Good night, Mr. Conway.
Good night, sir.
That's what I mean. Mysterious. Mr. Conway, I don't like that man. He's too vague.
we didn't get much information out of him, did we, Bob?
Well, it seems we should be grateful. We were in a bad mess this morning. And after all, this is quite pleasant. Why not make ourselves comfortable until the porters do arrive?
That's what I say. What do you say to a rubber bridge? I saw some cards in the other room.
Oh, no, me thanks. No, I'm too weary.
How about you, Lovey? Come on. Let's you and I play a game of honeymoon bridge.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Thinking? What about some double solitaire?
As a matter of fact, I'm very good at double solitaire.
No kidding.
Yes.
Then I'm your man. Come on, Toots. Yeah.
What's interesting is how eager Lovett and George are to return to quote-unquote civilization, not realizing that they are in the most desirable place on Earth. It's funny how even in the 1930s, the ability to not communicate with the outside world bothers them. It would also be like how humans are so possessed and addicted to the internet that not being able to decompress from it is like a bad addiction. What would be the worst thing if you couldn't access technology? It's probably not as bad as you think. One person that isn't panicked about not being able to leave Shangri-La is Robert.
George, cigarette?
Thanks. I suppose all this comes under the heading of adventure.
Had plenty of it the last few days.
It's far from over from what I can see. This place gives me the creeps. Hidden away like this, no contact with civilization. Well, you don't seem concerned at all.
Oh, I'm feeling far too peaceful to be concerned about anything. I think I'm going to like it here.
Talk as though you intended staying.
Something happened to me when we arrived here, George, that, well... Did you ever go to a totally strange place and feel certain you'd been there before?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
You're a strange bird. No wonder Gainesford calls you the man who always wanted to see what was on the other side of the hill.
Don't you ever want to see what's on the other side of the hill?
What else could there be except just another hill? In any event, I'm not curious. Well, at the moment, it seems to me we should be concerned about getting home. I'd give anything to be in London right now.
Of course you would. If ever we get out of this place, the thing for you to do is to take that job with Helen's father.
You mean if we should get out?
Did I say if?
That's what you said.
Well, I mean that...
What's on your mind, Bob? You talk as though we were going to have trouble getting out of here.
George, I've been putting things together. Do you notice the resemblance between those natives and the pilot? And why did those clothes materialize so conveniently when they met us at the plane? Chang himself just said that they never venture beyond that point. What brought them there, unless it was to meet us?
Chang's first question was about the pilot.
Uh-huh.
And there must be some connection between the plane and this place. They must have deliberately brought us here. Why, Bob? What reason could they have for doing a thing like that?
That's what's on the other side of the hill.
George's outlook changes a bit when he meets a young woman named Maria, played by the actress named just Margot. And Robert continues to eagerly question Chang more about Shangri-La.
By the way, what religion do you follow here?
To put it simply, I should say that our general belief was in moderation. We preach the virtue of avoiding excesses of every kind, even including excess of virtue itself.
Well, that's intelligent.
We find in the valley it makes for greater happiness among the natives. We rule with moderate strictness, and in return we are satisfied with moderate obedience. As a result, our people are moderately honest, moderately chaste, and somewhat more than moderately happy.
How about law and order? You have no soldiers or police?
Oh, good heavens, no.
Well, how do you deal with incorrigibles, criminals?
Why, we have no crime here. What makes a criminal? Lack, usually. Avariciousness, envy, the desire to possess something owned by another. There can be no crime where there is a sufficiency of everything.
You have no disputes over women?
Only very rarely. You see, it would not be considered good manners to take a woman that another man wanted.
Suppose somebody wanted her so badly that he didn't give her a hang if it was good manners or not?
Well, in that event, it would be good manners on the part of the other man to let him have her.
Well, that's very, very convenient. I think I'd like that.
You would be surprised, my dear Conway, how a little courtesy all around helps to smooth out the most complicated problems. Sometime in the future, you will have the pleasure of meeting her.
Well, some man had better get ready to be very courteous to me. Mr. Chang, all these things, books, instruments, sculpture, Do you mean to say they were all brought in over those mountains by porters?
They were.
Well, that must have taken...
Centuries.
Centuries. Where did you get the money to pay for all these treasures?
Well, of course, we have no money as you know it. We do not buy or sell or seek personal fortunes because there is no uncertain future here for which to accumulate.
Well, that'd suit me perfectly. I'm always broke. How did you pay for them?
Our valley is very rich in a metal called gold, which, fortunately for us, is valued very highly in the outside world. So we merely...
buy and sell?
Buy and sell... no, pardon me, exchange.
Oh, I see. Gold for ideas. You know, Mr. Chang, there's something so simple and naive about all this that I suspect there's been a shrewd guiding intelligence somewhere. Whose idea was it? How did it all start?
That, my dear Conway, is the story of a remarkable man.
Who?
A Belgian priest by the name of Father Perrault. The first European to find this place, and a very great man indeed. He is responsible for everything you see here. He built Shangri-La, taught the natives, and began our collection of art. In fact, Shangri-La is Father Perrault.
When was all this?
Oh, let me see. Way back in 1713, I think it was, that Father Perrault stumbled into the valley, half frozen to death. It was typical of the man that one leg being frozen, and of course there being no doctors here, he amputated the leg himself.
He amputated his own leg?
Yes. Oddly enough, later, when he had learned to understand their language, the natives told him he could have saved his leg. It would have healed without amputation.
Well, they didn't actually mean that.
Oh, yes. They were very sincere about it, too. You see, a perfect body in perfect health was the rule here. They'd never known anything different. And so what was true for them, they thought would naturally be true for anyone else living here.
Well, is it?
Rather astonishingly so, yes. And particularly in the case of Father Perrault himself. Do you know when he and the natives had finished building Shangri-La, he was 108 years old and still very active, in spite of only having one leg.
108 and still active?
You're startled.
Oh, no. Just a little bowled over, that's all.
Oh, forgive me. I should have told you it is quite common here to live to a very ripe old age. Climate, diet, mountain water, you might say. But we like to believe it is the absence of struggle in the way we live. In your countries, on the other hand, how often do you hear the expression, he worried himself to death, or this thing or that killed him?
Oh, very often.
And very true. Your lives are therefore, as a rule, shorter, not so much by natural death as by indirect suicide.
Well, it's all very fine if it works out. A little amazing, of course.
Why, Mr. Conway, you surprise me.
I surprise you. Now, that's news.
I mean, your amazement. I could have understood it in any of your companions, but you, who have dreamed and written so much about better worlds, or is it that you fail to recognize one of your own dreams when you see it?
Mr. Chang, if you don't mind, I think I'll go on being amazed. In moderation, of course.
Then everything's quite all right. Huh?
Yeah.
That last quip is absolutely wonderful, and especially towards the end. So many things that we do as humans cause unnecessary worry and anger. And while I realize that the stress of life isn't impossible to completely avoid, what Chang said in the last quip is completely true. Much of what we do can be avoided by simplifying your life. How much do you really need in your life, whether it be material things or not? And when it comes to 2026, do you really need so much interaction with social media and your phone? What would happen if you just avoided all of it and just led a simpler life and interacted with people in the real world? I'd be shocked if your life didn't improve drastically. One of the things, and there are many, that I love about this film is how it's as relevant today as it was in 1937, almost 90 years ago. Human nature never really changes, no matter what a 15-second TikTok and Instagram video tells you. And back to the film, as I just said about human nature, it unfortunately creeps its ugly head in the form of greed. the oldest destroyer of happiness since the beginning of time. Bernard discovers what Chang already told Robert earlier, that Shangri-La has a huge supply of gold, and Bernard's true colors begin to show, which is the swindler he's always been, but covered it up until now. The other negative part of human nature is paranoia, which Lovett has tons of. He just can't get over his own paranoia that the people of Shangri-La aren't there to kill him. On the other hand, one of the greatest things of human nature is love and affection, and Robert is smitten with a woman he heard playing the piano, and that's Sandra, played by Jane Wyatt. They eventually meet formally after the pair ride horses one day. We also get a pretty risque, long-distance shot of Sandra swimming nude in a pond prior to their meeting. Now, at the time, the California State Censor Board insisted on having 2 signed affidavits from Columbia Pictures that the model doubling for Jane Wyatt in her nude bathing scene had her breasts covered. Now, the affidavits were sent in, but the model in question apparently was indeed bare-breasted, though as a scene it's a long shot and it's virtually impossible to really tell. But even love can't prevent paranoia and greed from taking over a good thing. Comes out that Bernard was a swindler during the stock market crash of 1929, and then George believes that Chang is holding everyone hostage and decides to lose his mind temporarily and tries to shoot some of the people at the palace. Robert knocks out George before he can harm anyone or himself. Robert implores Chang to calm the fears of the group. But Chang says it's only the High Lama that can grant any of the wishes of the group to leave Shangri-La, which includes getting access to the porters to take them to the outside world. The High Lama, played by Sam Jaffe, wants to speak to Robert alone.
Sit here near me. I'm an old man and can do no one any harm.
Are you the High Lama?
Yes. I trust you've been comfortable at Shangri-La since your arrival.
Personally, I've enjoyed your community very much. But my friends do not care for this mystery. They are determined to leave as soon as... It's astonishing and incredible, but...
What is it, my son?
You're the man. Chang told me you're the first who... 200 years ago. You're still alive, Father Perrault.
Sit down, my son. You may not know it, but I've been an admirer of yours for a great many years. Oh, not of Conway, the empire builder and public hero. I wanted to meet the Conway who in one of his books said, "There are moments in every man's life when he glimpses the eternal." That Conway seemed to belong here. In fact, it was suggested that someone be sent to bring him here.
That I be brought here? Who had that brilliant idea?
Sandra Bizet.
Oh, the girl at the piano?
Yes. She has read your books and has a profound admiration for you. As have we all.
Of course, I've suspected that our being here was no accident. Furthermore, I have a feeling that we're never supposed to leave. But that for the moment doesn't concern me greatly. I'll meet that when it comes. What particularly interests me at present is why was I brought here? What possible use can I be to an already thriving community?
We need men like you here to be sure that our community will continue to thrive, in return for which Shangri-La has much to give you. You are still, by the world's standards, a youngish man. Yet in the normal course of existence, you can expect 20 or 30 years of gradually diminishing activity. Here, however, in Shangri-La, by our standards, your life has just begun and may go on and on.
Of course, to be candid, Father, a prolonged future doesn't excite me. It would have to have a point. I've sometimes doubted whether life itself has any. If that is so, then long life must be even more pointless. No, I'd need a much more definite reason for going on and on.
We have reason. It is the entire meaning and purpose of Shangri-La. It came to me in a vision. Long, long ago. I saw all the nations strengthening, not in wisdom, but in the vulgar passions and the will to destroy. I saw the machine power multiplying until a single weaponed man might match a whole army. I foresaw a time when man, exulting in the technique of murder, would rage so hotly over the world that every book, every treasure would be doomed to destruction. This vision was so vivid and so moving that I determined to gather together all things of beauty and of culture that I could and preserve them here against the doom toward which the world is rushing. Look at the world today. Is there anything more pitiful? What madness there is, what blindness, what unintelligent leadership. A scurrying mass of bewildered humanity crashing headlong against each other, propelled by an orgy of greed and brutality. The time must come, my friend, when this orgy will spend itself. When brutality and the lust for power must perish by its own sword. Against that time is why I avoided death and am here, and why you were brought here. For when that day comes, the world must begin to look for a new life. And it is our hope that they may find it here. For here we shall be, with their books and their music, and a way of life based on one simple rule. Be kind. When that day comes, it is our hope that the brotherly love of Shangri-La will spread throughout the world. Yes, my son. When the strong have devoured each other, the Christian ethic may at last be fulfilled, and the meek shall inherit the earth.
I understand you, Father.
You must come again, my son. Good night.
Now, the casting of Sam Jaffe was said to be helped by a puff piece written by Hollywood columnist Luella Parsons. Though Frank Capra said when he first met with Jaffe, he saw a twinkle in his eye and heard his voice and knew immediately he was right for the part as the High Lama. Alright, there's about an hour left, and you just need to see the rest of the film yourself if you haven't already. It's films like this that I love covering because many modern listeners probably haven't seen it, and don't realize what a gem they missed out on. The story is terrific, and Ronald Colman's performance is one of the best in his long storied career, along with the rest of the cast. Now, this is just my opinion. Shangri-La is achievable to every one of us. It's what you make of it. I say do things that make you happy and double down on it. Life doesn't have to be complicated or constantly upsetting. And films like Lost Horizon are a wonderful reminder of all the good things in life, at least for me. And this podcast hopefully brings you as much joy to your life as it does to mine when I create episodes every week. The bottom line is Lost Horizon is a fabulous, timeless movie that will always remain relevant, and hopefully you enjoy it as much as I do. All right, let's get into the fun facts. So Lost Horizon was nominated for 7 Oscars and won 2. It won Best Art Direction and Best Film Direction. Now, the 5 it lost to, it lost Best Picture for The Life of Emile Zola. H.B. Warner lost Best Supporting Actor to Joseph Schildkraut for The Life of Emile Zola. Best Score lost to 100 Men and a Girl. Best Sound Recording lost to The Hurricane. And Best Assistant Director lost to In Old Chicago. Frank Capra originally wanted to film in color, but when it was discovered that the archival shots of the Himalayas were only in black and white, he realized he couldn't shoot all in color. The other reason not to shoot in color was the substantial cost it would be, as color technology was really in its infancy stages. Speaking of cost, Columbia Studios head Harry Cohn authorized the largest budget of a film at the time. It was $1.25 million. Cohn didn't like Sam Jaffe's performance as the High Lama and insisted that Capra shoot it with another actor. Capra had to go along with this request from Cohn and had a test done with Walter Connolly. And Cohn even insisted on an expensive new set being built specifically for it. However, after this, the consensus was that the test wasn't near as good as what Sam Jaffe had done. So, Jaffe wanted the part back, though he still had to reshoot all of his scenes as they were deemed too far lengthy and wordy. Because of the edits of the runtime I mentioned earlier, Capra ended up suing Cohn for breach of contract by editing the film without his approval. The pair did reach a settlement, and Capra was released from his contract from Columbia, and it severed their relationship for the remainder of their lives. So the year after Lost Horizon was released, the owner of a prosperous theater chain hired an architect who designed a mansion that was inspired by the Shangri-La mansion in this film. It's located in Denver, Colorado, and it still exists today. So Rita Hayworth tested for the role of Maria, and eventually that was, of course, given to the actress named Margot. All right, I do have a Lux Radio Theater adaptation with Ronald Colman in it from September 15th, 1941, so I will play that now. But really, you need to see this film. It is absolutely a gem and really is as relevant today as ever. And so my parting advice is, people, if you're addicted to social media, if you're addicted to the internet, I realize you're watching or you're listening to this podcast on not necessarily social media, but through the internet. Pick and choose your battles. Pick and choose what you use on the internet, but don't revolve your whole life around it. You will not be happier. Find your own Shangri-La, whatever that may be, but don't make it around the internet. All right, I'll be back next week to talk about yet another random movie, probably less deep, from my DVD collection.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Ronald Colman in Lost Horizon with Donald Crisp and Lynn Carver. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's play gave the language a new word for an old dream. The word is Shangri-La, the name of the beautiful far country in James Hilton's novel, Lost Horizon. And the dream is man's eternal vision of a land completely civilized, peaceful, and free. High in the rugged mountains of Tibet lies Shangri-La, a world apart from war and rumors of war. Whole centuries ahead of its time. But even the best of all possible worlds must have people, and people will always be human. That's what makes Mr. Hilton's magnificent adventure tale a fine human drama, and the story of a very human love, too. If you saw Lost Horizon on the screen, you wouldn't picture anyone else but Ronald Colman in the starring role, and neither could we. I still have the many fine letters you wrote about his performance here last year in Libel, and I believe this play will inspire you even more. With Ronald Colman, you'll hear Donald Crisp and Lynn Carver as two of the people that are part of the strange story of Shangri-La. And Lux Soap, by the way, will be perfectly at home with Mr. Hilton's globe-trotting play tonight. Right next to the distant mountains where our story takes place is Turkestan, a wild, forbidding, sparsely inhabited country. Just the other night, Mrs. DeMille and I were reading a book written by an adventurous gentleman who'd traveled straight across Turkestan on horseback. Far up in the Himalayan mountains, his party stopped for the night at a native home. And following the custom of the country, he gave a present to the 3 ladies of the household. He gave them each 1 cake of Lux toilet soap. Much to his astonishment, each of the women put the soap in a small bag and hung it around her neck. In that lost horizon of the hills, Lux toilet soap was much too precious to be used. It was to be treasured like some work of art. Remember that the next time you get a new cake down from the shelf. And I know you'll remember Lost Horizon, starring Ronald Colman as Conway, with Donald Crisp as the High Lama, Lynn Carver as Lo Tsen, and Dennis Green as Mallinson. The curtain rises on the first act. Far out on the Pacific, a steamship moves slowly through the midnight fog. Shrouded in mist, her huge hulk glides ghost-like over a glassy sea. In the lounge, almost deserted and heavy with shadows, a man is seated at the piano. His face is thin and pale. He plays very softly, absently, his eyes fixed far ahead, as if seeing into the future or trying to remember the past.
Long day ahead of us tomorrow. Don't you think you'd better turn in, old man? It's rather late. Conway, don't you hear me? Conway.
Anything you say.
Please don't stop playing, please. That last selection was quite beautiful. May I inquire the name of it?
Well, what was it, Conway? The name of that selection?
I don't know. It's something something...
Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I beg your pardon. My name is Rudolph Sievkin.
Sievkin, the pianist?
You know me?
I've heard you play many times. My name is Rutherford. This gentleman is Mr. Conway.
How do you do? Oh, no, don't stop. Go on, please. Thank you. Yes, superb, but I can't quite place it.
I remember now. It's by Chopin.
Chopin? No, not Chopin. Very much in his style, but definitely not Chopin.
I know it's by Chopin.
Really? But I flatter myself that I know everything of Chopin's. Everything that was ever published.
Well, this wasn't published.
So? Then how do you happen to know it?
It was taught to me a few months ago by one of Chopin's pupils.
Mr. Conway chooses to have a joke with me.
Not only a pupil, but a friend.
Mr. Conway, may I remind you of one thing? This friend of Chopin's. Do you realize that to be alive today, he would have to be somewhere in the neighborhood of, say, 130 years of age?
Yes, he was with Chopin the night he died, in 1849. Rutherford, I believe I'll take a walk around the deck. Good night.
Perhaps Mr. Conway resented my intrusion.
You'll have to forgive my friend, sir. He's been quite ill.
Oh?
Yes, I'm taking him home to England. You see, he's had a very severe case of amnesia.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd better go along with him. Excuse me, please. Conway, is that you? Well, I'm afraid you've insulted the eminent Mr. Sievking. He was quite peeved.
I suppose it sounded very absurd.
Well, a man 130 years old. It was rather hard to believe.
Yes, the more so because it's true. You don't believe me either,
I'm a writer, Conway. I'm capable of believing almost anything.
Rutherford, how did you happen to find me?
Oh, purely by accident. I was traveling from Hankow to Chungking by train. I made the acquaintance of a very charming lady. Mother Superior of some French Sisters of Charity. She told me of a case they had in the hospital at Chungking, a fever patient who'd been brought in some weeks ago. She said he seemed to be English, but spoke excellent Chinese. Naturally, I was interested. When I went to the hospital with her, I recognized you at once.
And I didn't recognize you?
The doctor said you'd been under considerable strain.
Yes, but I do recognize you now.
You mean your memory is coming back?
For the past 2 days, I've been remembering little things. Tonight, it all came back to me. That is, all except a few days when... Rutherford, when you went to the hospital, did they mention how I had come there?
Yes. You were picked up on the road about 60 miles from Chungking.
Alone?
No, there was someone with you. A woman.
A Chinese woman?
Yes.
And what happened to her?
Why, they brought her in too, of course. But she was pretty far gone. She died that night.
Died?
Conway, I'm glad your memory has returned. But I'm sorry if already you wish it hadn't.
I don't know what I wish. I only know that... Rutherford, you said you were capable of believing almost anything. Could you believe the impossible?
Do you believe it?
It happened to me.
Go on.
I don't know just where to begin. How long is it since I've seen you?
About 1921. As I remember it, you were at Oxford.
Yes, that's right. I'd gone back there after the war. I was making a study of Oriental languages. Well, soon after that, I went into the consular service.
So I heard. You were sent to India, weren't you?
Yes, to Baskul. I was the consul there up until last May. Then there was a revolt of sorts in Baskul, and we thought it safer to evacuate the civilians to Peshawar on the northwest frontier. We had some planes for the purpose, and I myself left Baskul with 4 passengers and a pilot. With me was my vice-consul, a young fellow named Mallinson, a missionary woman, Miss Brinklow, and Henry Barnard, an American businessman. We took off from Baskul at about 3 in the afternoon and should have landed in Peshawar at about 5:30. We never arrived at our destination.
Conway? I say, Conway, you asleep?
Oh. What's the matter, Mallinson? Anything wrong?
I'm not sure, but didn't you tell me that Fenner was piloting us?
Yes, isn't he?
No, the chap turned his head just now, and I'll swear it wasn't Fenner.
Well, they must have changed their minds and given us someone else.
Yes, but who is he?
My dear boy, how should I know? When we arrive in Peshawar, you can ask him all about himself.
At this rate, we won't get to Peshawar at all. The man's off his course, and we're an hour overdue at least. What? You've been asleep. It's after 6:30. And look down there, nothing but mountains as far as you can see.
I don't recognize this part of the world at all. I'd say you were right, Mallinson. The man's lost his way.
What's that, Conway? You say we were lost?
Lost? Oh, good heavens.
Oh, it's quite all right, Miss Brinklow. There's nothing to be upset about, I'm sure.
I'm not so sure. Flying over the mountains of India with night coming on isn't exactly my idea of a pleasant time. Where would you say we were?
I don't know, Mr. Barnard.
Well, we might ask the pilot, you know.
But if we're lost, he won't know either, will he?
Oh, I'm not yet certain that we are lost.
Still, there's nothing like finding out, is there?
All right, I'll ask him. Hey, you there, pilot, open the panel. Open up, will you? I want to speak to you.
I advise you ask no questions, please.
Oh, certainly.
Look here, we want to know where we are.
I advise that you be seated.
I will not be seated. I want to know...
Mallinson, I don't know whether you've noticed it, but there's the barrel of a revolver pointing directly at my chest. Under the circumstances, I think you'd better do as the gentleman suggests.
Thank you. It would be pity if I had to resort to force.
I don't suppose you'd care to answer, but might I ask just where we're going?
You will know that tomorrow when we arrive.
What the devil did he mean?
Do you suppose we're being kidnapped?
As good an explanation as any.
He wouldn't have dared to shoot. It was probably just bluff.
Quite, but I'd rather leave it to you to make sure.
Well, I do feel that we ought to put up some sort of a fight. We can't just give in like this.
Putting up a fight without a decent chance of winning is a poor game, and I'm not that sort of a hero.
Good for you, sir. When a man's got you by the short hairs, you may as well give in pleasantly and admit it.
But what are we going to do?
Well, since we're going to be flying all night, and since there seems to be nothing we can do at the moment, I suggest we try and get some sleep. For hours, we sat in the darkness of the plain, each of us pretending to sleep. From all I could make out, we were flying northeast over a range of mountains, the Karakorams. In the moonlight, I fancied I could pick out the crest of K2, the second highest mountain in the world. Beyond lay Tibet. Then I must have fallen asleep. For how long, I don't know. Suddenly the plane lurched sharply. There was a loud rushing sound in my ears, and I realized that we were coming down. But fast, much too fast. We stumbled from the plane, the four of us, badly shaken but uninjured. We found ourselves on a snow-covered plateau surrounded by towering cliffs, and I knew we must be somewhere in Tibet, a vast, uninhabited and unexplored region, a land of frozen wastes and bitter cold. Then a strange thing happened. The wind died suddenly, and the moon swung over the edge of a precipice high above. And there, soaring into the heavens, appeared the loveliest mountain on earth. It was an almost perfect cone of snow, so radiant, so serenely poised that I wondered for a moment if it were real at all.
Conway, come here. There's something the matter with this pilot fellow. I think he's ill or something. I can't get a word out of him.
The pilot? Well, now we are in a fix.
Loosen his helmet. Now, he's still breathing anyhow. Got a match, Barnard?
Not very many. Here we are.
I'll keep lighting them.
His pulse is pretty weak. I can hardly feel it.
What do you suppose happened to him?
Oh, possibly a heart attack brought on by the altitude. There's not very much we can do for him out here. Barnard, another match. Mallinson, what's the matter with you?
What's the matter? Well, look at us, a lot of fools striking matches over a corpse.
There was little we could do for the man. We watched his breathing grow more and more labored. Eventually, he opened his eyes and began to speak convulsively, a kind of Chinese that I didn't understand very well. Toward the end, he half lifted himself and looked toward that shiny precipice towering above us. With a great effort, he raised his hand and pointed.
Shangri-La! Shangri-La!
Then, as the early rays of the sun caught the summit of the mountain, the man died.
But what did he say? He must have told you something.
Very little, I'm afraid. Merely that we are in Tibet, which is obvious. But he did say something about a lamasery near here, along the valley. Shangri-La, he called it. He was most emphatic that we should go there.
Which doesn't seem to me any reason at all why we should. What if it's a trap? Have we got any guarantee that we won't be murdered?
None at all.
Conway?
Well?
I've just been looking at that mountain. Am I seeing things, or are those men coming towards us?
They were men, a party of a dozen or more, crawling like ants across the white face of the mountain. As they drew near, we saw they carried among them a hooded chair, and in it a robed figure. An elderly, Chinese, gray-haired, clean-shaven. Slowly they came toward us. The Chinese gave an order.
I am from the lamasery of Shangri-La. My name is Chang. You, sir, would you be good enough to present me to your friends?
Of course. This is Miss Brinklow, Mr. Barnard, and Mr. Mallinson. My name is Conway.
How do you do? We observed from the mountain that you have had a severe accident. Your ship is beyond repair?
Yes, I'm afraid so. And anyway, our pilot is dead.
So?
As a matter of fact, we were just setting out to find your lamasery. If you could give us directions for the journey...
There is no need for that. I shall be delighted to act as your guide.
Oh, but you must have just come from there. And if it isn't very far, we could easily...
It is not far, but it is not easy either. I shall esteem it an honor to accompany you and your friends.
Oh, but really...
I must insist.
Well, thank you.
Our stay won't be long, and we'll pay for anything we have. And we'd like to hire some of your porters to help us on the journey back. We want to return to civilization as soon as possible.
Are you so certain you are away from it? Bon hoi, Shangri-La! You are contemplating the mountain, Mr. Conway.
Yes. Yes, it's a beautiful sight. It has a name, I suppose.
It is called Caracal.
I don't think I ever heard of it. Is it very high?
Over 28,000 feet.
Do we have to climb it to get to your lamasery?
There is a pass at 20,000.
be much further than this, can it? We've been climbing for hours.
Well, it's quite certain we can never have found the way ourselves.
Well, would we be missing much? What sort of a Hell's Kitchen are we making for? And what's our plan of action when we get there? What do we do?
Mallinson, there are times in life when the most comfortable thing is to do nothing at all. Things happen to you, and so you just let them happen.
That's a bit too philosophic for me. I'm suspicious about all this. They're getting us into a corner.
Have you anything else to suggest?
No.
Try and make the best of it.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's the matter with me. The whole world seems to have gone completely mad.
No, they don't finish it.
We seem to be at the top.
We shall rest here a moment before we descend into the valley.
Are we almost there?
The dangers of our journey are quite over. If you will look below toward the head of the valley, you can see the lamasery of Shangri-La.
Shangri-La. It was a strange and incredible sight. A group of colored pavilions clinging to the mountainside, like flower petals impaled upon a crag. It was superb and exquisite. The eye was carried upward from the milk-blue roofs to the gray rock looming tremendously overhead. Beyond that, in a dazzling pyramid, soared Caracal. It was the most beautiful and the most terrifying mountainscape in the world. I don't remember how we arrived at the lamasery. The thin air had a dream-like texture, and with every breath, I took in a deep anesthetizing tranquility. But I do remember a strange sensation, half mystical, half visual, of having reached at last some place that was an end, a finality.
In just a few moments, Mr. DeMille and our stars, Ronald Colman, Donald Crisp, and Lynn Carver, will bring us Act Two of Lost Horizon.
What a beautiful bride.
Lucky man, getting a girl like that.
And how I'm lucky, marrying anyone as lovely as you. Darling, I
always want to look lovely for you, dear.
Ah, there's a bride who can count on happiness ahead. A clever young bride, typical of women everywhere who win romance and keep it by caring for their own natural loveliness. They know that complexion beauty must be cherished if skin is to stay appealingly soft and smooth. That's why they take a tip from the world's most beautiful women, Hollywood's famous stars. Know how they care for their million-dollar complexions? Hollywood's beauty care? Why, daily active lather facials with gentle white Lux toilet soap. Screen stars say this beauty facial is as simple as 1, 2, 3. They just smooth the creamy, rich Lux soap lather lightly in, rinse with warm water, then with cool, and pat gently to dry with a soft towel. That's all, but you'll find that Lux soap's active lather has removed every trace of dust, dirt, and stale cosmetics, has left skin feeling smooth, looking flower fresh. Don't let another day go by without trying this gentle beauty care. See how the rich lather of this smooth white soap caresses your skin, how beautifully fresh it makes you look and feel. Here's a tip for brides, for women everywhere who want their beauty care really to work. Begin now to use gentle Lux toilet soap regularly. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Act Two of Lost Horizon, starring Ronald Colman as Conway, with Donald Crisp as the High Lama and Lynn Carver as Lo Tsen. At the rail of the ocean liner, Conway continues his story. A strange tale of a journey to a strange place, the lamasery of Shangri-La.
From the stormy cliffs of Caracal to the serene peace and quiet of Shangri-La was like a descent into another world. How long we would have to stay, we didn't know. But I can't pretend that I was worried or even annoyed. For here in this lovely place, I enjoyed a strange sensation, a pleasant mingling of physical ease and mental alertness. It seemed to me, of all sensations, the most truly civilized. At dinner, our first night there, I noticed that the food was cooked and served in Chinese fashion.
You will excuse me if I do not have my dinner with you. My diet is very restricted. I'm obliged to take care of myself.
Not at all. Of course.
If there is anything you wish, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm sure we can supply it.
You seem to be a fortunate community here, and very hospitable to strangers. I don't imagine, though, that you receive them often.
Seldom indeed. It is not a traveled part of the world.
Yes, to put it mildly. As we came up, I thought it the most isolated spot I had ever set eyes on. And yet...
Yes?
And yet you run this place as though it were a first-rate European hotel. Isn't that what you mean, Conway?
Or an American hotel, for that matter. You even have bathtubs.
Yes. We are less barbarian than you expected.
Will you tell us about the monastery, please?
It will give me the greatest pleasure, madam, so far as I am able. What exactly do you wish to know?
First of all, how many are there of you here, and what nationality do you belong to?
Those of us in full Lamahood number 50. As for our racial origins, there are representatives of a great many nations, though it is perhaps natural that Tibetans and Chinese make up the majority.
I see. It's really a native monastery, then. Is your head lama a Tibetan?
No.
A Chinese?
No, madam.
Well, I'm sure he can't be English. Oh, do you have any English here?
Several.
Dear me, that seems very remarkable. And now, tell me what you all believe in.
Well, that's rather a big question, Miss Brinklow.
Of course, I believe in the true religion. But I'm broad-minded enough to admit that other people, foreigners, I mean, are quite often sincere in their views.
If I were to put it into very few words, I should say that our prevalent belief is in moderation. We believe in the virtue of avoiding excess of all kinds. In the valley below, there are several thousand inhabitants living under the control of our order. We rule with moderate strictness, and in return we are satisfied with moderate obedience. And I think I can claim that our people are moderately sober, moderately faithful, and moderately honest.
Well, were those the valley people who arrived with you this morning?
Yes.
Well, they all seem to be excellent guides. Why can't they take us back tomorrow? We'll make it worth their while, of course.
I am sorry, but that is beyond my province. I cannot help you, sir.
You mean you won't?
Malins.
If you refuse to help us, we'll help ourselves. You have maps, I suppose?
Yes, we have many.
Well, then we'll borrow some of them, if you don't mind. How far away is the nearest telegraph line?
I do not know.
Well, where do you send to when you want anything? Anything civilized, I mean. When you had all these modern baths installed, how did they get here? Oh, you won't tell me then. It's part of the mystery, like everything else, I suppose. Conway, I must say, I think you're devilish slack. Why don't you get at the truth? I'm all in for the time being, but tomorrow, mind you, we must get away tomorrow. It's essential.
Mallinson!
Lend me a hand here. Easy, man.
Are you all right, Mallinson?
I don't know.
Tomorrow he will be much better. The air here is difficult for the stranger at first, but one soon becomes acclimatized.
Yes, I expect we're all feeling it somewhat. Barnard, look after Mallinson, will you? And I'm sure you're in need of some rest, too, Miss Brinklow.
Yes, I am. Good night.
Good night, madam.
Come on, Mallinson. Just lean your weight on me. That's the boy.
Shall I call for someone to help you?
We'll manage.
Are you retiring also, Mr. Conway?
I'd like a word with you first, if I may.
Yes?
I want to know, this morning when you found us, were you setting out on a journey?
No.
Then it was not a chance meeting. You came there deliberately to intercept us. That suggests that you must have known of our arrival beforehand. The interesting question is, how?
You are very clever, but not entirely correct. Therefore, I should counsel you not to worry your friends with these abstract discussions.
No, they want something more concrete. They want to know exactly how long you're going to keep us here.
There will be certain unavoidable delays.
How long?
The difficulties of the trip, securing the necessary porters.
How long, please?
You may tell your friends a few months.
But you don't guarantee it. Is that what you mean? Very well. For myself, I can't say I shall mind a great deal. It's a new and interesting experience.
In time to come, you may find it even more interesting. Good night.
Good night.
The view from here is quite delightful. Notice how the moonlight shines on Caracal.
It's beautiful. I'd been thinking it was white or silver, but it isn't. It's blue.
Caracal, in the language of our people, means blue moon.
In the days that followed at Shangri-La, I gave myself over to a rich and growing enchantment. In the petal-colored buildings which dotted the mountain, I recognized treasures of art that museums and millionaires alike would have bargained for. Paintings and sketches, exquisite ceramics, and tinted ink drawings preserved for more than 1,000 years. And then I discovered the library, lofty and spacious, with a quiet atmosphere more of wisdom than of learning. Here was housed all the great literature of the present and of centuries past, and all the scientific knowledge of the world. One morning, I stood beside a lotus pool in an open pavilion of the Lamasery. Presently, I became conscious of the music that seemed to come from an archway behind me. It was a harpsichord, and it had begun so softly that I wasn't even aware of listening. A girl was playing, a girl in Chinese dress. She had the high cheekbones and the eggshell pallor of the Manchu. Her jet-black hair was drawn tightly back and braided. Her mouth was small and pink. She was like a delicately painted miniature. That was very lovely.
You are pleased, sir?
More than pleased.
Chang said it would be so.
Oh, did Chang send you here?
To play for you.
Well, that's very nice of him. My name is Hugh Conway.
They call me Lo Tsen.
Lo Tsen. Do you live below in the valley?
No, I live here.
At the Lamasery?
Yes, but as yet I have not attained the full lamahood.
You mean you are a lama?
Yes.
I'm a bit confused. I didn't realize. I thought that only men could be lamas.
They will tell you when you have been here longer that in the lamahood there are no distinctions between a man and a woman.
But you're hardly more than a child.
Shall I play for you again?
Oh, please.
Good morning.
Oh, Chang.
You are pleased with Lo Tsen?
She plays magnificently.
One of our greatest students of music. She has studied for a great many years.
But she couldn't. She's only... Chang, how old is Lo Tsen?
I am afraid I cannot tell you.
Not a word yet about when we're to leave. Has Chang spoken to you, Conway?
Chang has been rather vague on the subject.
Vagueness seems to be his principal stock in trade. But I imagine he'll break down a bit before long.
Well, the prospect of being marooned here doesn't seem to worry you a great deal, Barnard.
Well, frankly, it doesn't. The outside world has certain attractions, of course, but it also has some definite disadvantages.
And I'm surprised to hear that from you. From Conway, I might have expected. You seem positively intrigued by the place, Conway. Or are you intrigued mainly by the little Chinese girl?
I've always been a lover of music. I enjoy her company.
Hardly an excuse, is it?
Oh, I don't know. You don't care for music, do you?
No.
And yet, if you'll forgive my saying so, you seem to enjoy her company, too.
I suppose you think that's rather clever.
No, I merely think she's rather beautiful. And I know that you're only 24.
Well, you're not very old yourself, you know.
It's true.
Speaking of age, I've been sort of puzzled about this fellow Chang. How old would you say he was, Conway?
Chang? Well, that's rather difficult. At a rough guess, I'd say... Oh, anywhere from 49 to 149.
Conway, are you awake? Conway.
What is it?
I've got to see you.
Come in.
Listen, I've just found out why our friend Barnard is so willing to stay on here. He dropped his pocketbook tonight and a lot of newspaper clippings fell out.
Well?
The clippings say that he's wanted back in America for embezzlement and fraud.
When Mallinson had gone, I walked out on the terrace and stood looking across the valley of the Blue Moon. Suddenly, I became aware of a figure standing in the bright square of the pavilion.
Good evening, sir.
Oh, is that you, Chang?
I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour, but I bring you important news.
Well?
I congratulate you, sir. And I am happy to think that I am, in some measure, responsible for the High Lama's decision.
Decision? High Lama?
It is extraordinary and unprecedented. A fortnight ago you had not arrived. Tonight you are to be received by him. You will follow me, please?
As I followed Chang through the lamasery that night, I knew I was on the threshold of some great discovery. Pattering in front of me, he mounted a great spiral staircase to a door which opened noiselessly before us. Inside, the atmosphere was dry and tingling warm. The airlessness increased as we passed through the dim halls. And then at last we stopped.
The High Lama will see you alone.
Chang left me silently, and I stood breathing an atmosphere that was sultry and full of dusk. As I became accustomed to the gloom, I saw sitting before me a small and wrinkled man. He was motionless, a fading antique portrait in Chinese dress, his face thin and drawn tight over the frame of his skull. And his eyes, I felt dizzy beneath the gaze of those ancient eyes.
You are Mr. Conway?
I am.
It is a pleasure to see you, Mr. Conway. Please sit down beside me and have no fear. I am an old man and can do no one any harm.
I feel it a great honor to be received by you.
Thank you. I trust you have been comfortable at Shangri-La since your arrival?
Extremely so.
I am glad. Chang tells me you have been asking many questions about our community and its affairs.
Oh, yes, I am very much interested in them.
Then if you can spare me a little time, I shall be pleased to give you a brief account of our foundation.
There's nothing I would rather hear.
The history of Shangri-La begins rightly in the city of Pekin in the year 1719. For it was then that 4 friars set out on a long and perilous journey into the hinterland. They traveled southwest for many months by Lanzhou and Nokono, facing many hardships. 3 died on the way, and the 4th was not far from death when by accident he stumbled into the rocky defile that remains today the only practical approach to our Valley of the Blue Moon. There, to his joy and surprise, he found a friendly population who made haste to display what I have always regarded as our oldest tradition, that of hospitality to strangers. Quickly he recovered his health and began to preach his mission. His name was Father Perrault, and he was by birth a Luxembourger. He was something of a scholar, but he was also physically sturdy. For more than half a century he labored with his hands like any other man, tilling his own garden and learning from the inhabitants as well as teaching them. Then in the year 1789, news descended to the valley that Father Perrault was dying at last. He lay in this room where he could see from the window the white blur that was all his failing eyesight gave him of Caracal. He gathered his friends and servants round him and bade them all farewell. But the end was not yet. He lay for many weeks without speech or movement, and then he began to recover. He was then 108.
The ancient Lama paused, his eyes closed as if the discourse had tired him. What he had told me was not beyond belief, but as he went on, I was held speechless with wonder. Father Perrault's recovery, he told me, was not in any sense temporary. No, he plunged immediately into a rigorous self-discipline which would have killed another man of that age. It was in 1803 that a wanderer found his way to the Valley of the Blue Moon, an Austrian named Henschel. A great friendship sprang up between the two, and Henschel stayed on. It was then that they had a wild and fantastic dream. to preserve for all time the transient and perishable beauties of the world, to store them at Shangri-La, and keep them safe against the brutalities and ravages of war, a heritage to cherish and bequeath. Then when the strong had devoured each other, the Christian ethic might at last be fulfilled, and the meek might inherit the earth. So, with the valley's gold, they purchased art treasures from Europe and Asia. They filled the library with the great literature of all the ages. Then, later on, it was decided to admit travelers and strangers who had lost their way.
Strangers who had lost their way. Strangers might come as freely as they wished, but with one important proviso.
And what was that?
In the years that followed, strangers did come. More than one party of explorers lost in these hills encountered messengers bearing a cordial invitation, and one that was rarely declined. Meanwhile, under the watchful eyes of Father Perrault and Henschel, the lamasery had begun to acquire many of its present characteristics. It was almost completed when Henschel died.
He died?
Yes. It was very sudden. He was killed in the year 1910.
1910?
Just before his death, a Chinese artist had sketched him. There is his picture on the wall behind you.
But this is the portrait of a young man. If he died in the year you said...
He did.
And he came here in 1803?
Yes.
He was killed, you said?
Yes. A traveler shot him.
What was the cause of it?
There had been a quarrel about some porters. Henschel had just told him of the important proviso that governs our reception of guests. Perhaps you are wondering, my dear Conway, what that proviso may be.
I think I can already guess. We are to stay here all of our lives.
And can you guess anything else after this long and curious story of mine?
It seems impossible, and yet, impossible as it may be, I know it's the truth.
What is, my son?
That you are still alive, Father Perrault.
We pause now for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. After a brief intermission, Mr. DeMille and our stars, Ronald Colman, Donald Crisp, and Lynn Carver, will bring us Act 3 of Lost Horizon. And now, here's Sally, all dressed up and looking like $1 million in a very dashing new fall hat. Well, Sally, you certainly are a good picker.
Mr. Ruick, do you really like this hat? I do, but then,
Why,
of course...
Sally, it's a honey.
Well, thank you. I bought it in such a hurry today, but I was sure it was the hat for me the moment I saw it. Well, I guess I'm just one of those people with whom first impressions count most.
Well, I think most women are like that, Sally.
Well, first impressions have always counted most with me. You know, Mr. Ruick, I still remember the first time I tried Lux toilet soap. Oh, years and years ago. That neat sort of quaint American sampler wrapper made a hit with me right away. It was so different and so nice looking. And then when I unwrapped the cake and saw how very pure white and satiny smooth it was, I just knew some way that Lux must be a real beauty soap. The kind of soap a girl wants for her skin.
You were right about that, Sally.
Of course. And then I remember what an impression it made on me when I started to use that beautiful cake of Lux toilet soap. Why, it felt as if I were actually smoothing beauty in. The lather was so creamy, so caressing. Believe me, I was absolutely reveling in luxury.
Yes, Sally, so many women speak of Lux toilet soap as a luxury soap. And yet Lux toilet soap really isn't a luxury as far as price is concerned. It costs only a few cents a cake. And for those few cents, you get a personal toilet soap that's as fine as money can buy. You know, Lux toilet soap is made of only the highest quality ingredients. That's why it's so pure and mild, gentle to precious complexions, which is why 9 out of 10 screen stars use Lux toilet soap for their priceless complexions. If you haven't tried it, why not get 3 cakes of this fragrant white soap tomorrow? Now, Mr. DeMille returns to the microphone.
The curtain rises on the 3rd act of Lost Horizon. Once again, as his friend Rutherford listens intently, Conway takes up the thread of his narrative. Dawn is breaking over the calm Pacific. Conway's voice is low, keyed to the tune of another world, the peaceful world of Shangri-La.
I learned one of the secrets of Shangri-La that night, the secret of prolonged human life. For the High Lama who sat beside me had been born in 1683. He had lived for nearly 2.5 centuries. He confirmed my suspicion that our coming was no accident. There had been no travelers to Shangri-La for 20 years. Many lamas had died, and our pilot had been sent out into the world to bring new life to the lamasery.
Yes, my son, there is death at Shangri-La. There are many of us who live no more than 100 years.
And those who do live more, when do they begin to grow old in appearance?
Cases differ. Some retain their youth for a century or more, but they must never leave the Valley of the Blue Moon.
And if one of your lamas were to leave the valley?
He would die. His years would fall on his shoulders like a great burden, and he would die very soon. An old, old man.
Lotsen.
You have seen the High Lama?
Lotsen, you must help me. When I spoke with him, I understood everything. And now...
And now, you are not sure again. That will pass.
Will it?
You will be happy, as all of us have been.
Lotsen, how did you come here? How long ago?
I was betrothed to a prince of Turkestan. We were traveling to Kashgar to meet him when my carriers lost their way in the mountains.
When did this happen?
In 1864. I was 18.
18? Well, then now you...
The missionaries of Shangri-La found us. They brought us here.
Yes, it must have been very difficult for you, your wedding journey.
I had never seen the man I was to marry. It was the custom of our land.
Then, in all these years, you have never known the meaning of love? Lotsen, is there no love at Shangri-La? Is there no room for love at Shangri-La, Lotsen? She did not answer, but I thought I saw a faint flush rising in her ivory cheek, and my heart seemed to leap inside me. And then I was aware that someone had entered the pavilion and was standing watching us. It was Mallinson. In the next few weeks, I was summoned often by the High Lama. I learned to expect his call, and I seemed to sense when it would come. One night, I heard the valley people chanting far below. I thought it strange, for I had not heard it since we arrived. It was midnight when I stood in the presence of the High Lama.
Tell me, my son, have you been happy at Shangri-La?
Quite happy, Father Perrault.
What have you been doing?
Something very unusual. I have been learning new pieces by Chopin.
Ah, then you have met Alphonse Briac.
Oh, yes.
He was a great friend of Chopin. He was with him the night he died, in 1849.
And so he told me. It was fascinating.
My son, I know that you are content here, but I worry about your friends. Will they learn to be content also?
I'm sure that 2 of them will. Miss Brinklow is going to convert you.
Or we her. Does it matter? What of Mr. Barnard?
Oh, he's found a project, too. He wants to mine your gold.
For himself?
No, for you. He's discovered that you use it to bring supplies from outside.
And he wishes to help us. Splendid. And now, Mallinson.
Ah, he's going to be a problem.
Yes. I'm afraid he's going to be your problem.
Why mine?
Because, my son, I am going to die.
You are going to? Father Barrow.
Yes. We are all mortal, even here in the Valley of the Blue Moon. But I must feel at rest before I die. That is why I sent for you tonight.
You do me a great honor, Father.
I have in mind to do much more than that. I have waited for you, my son, for a long time. My colleagues have grown old and wise, but you who are still young in years are as wise already. My son, there is a great storm gathering in the world, a black fury which will not spend itself for many years. There will be no safety in arms, no answer in science. It may rage till every flower of culture is trampled, and all human things are leveled in vast chaos. Such was my vision when Napoleon was still a name unknown. And I see it now, more clearly with each hour. Do you say I am mistaken?
No, a crash such as that came once before, and then there were the Dark Ages lasting 500 years.
The Dark Ages that will come will cover the earth like a pall. But I believe that you will live through the storm. Beyond that, my vision weakens. But I see at great distance a new world stirring in the ruins, seeking its lost and legendary treasures. And they will all be here, my son, hidden behind the mountains in the Valley of the Blue Moon. And you will be here to give them to the hopeful world. My son, I place in your hands the heritage and destiny of Shangri-La.
The High Lama stopped speaking. The glow in his eyes faded. Presently it came to me as in a dream. The High Lama was dead.
Conway, I've been waiting for you. I've got some news. I say, what's the matter, Conway? Are you ill?
Ill? No, I don't think so, just tired.
Well, where were you all the while?
I was visiting the High Lama.
Oh, him. Well, that's for the last time, anyhow.
Yes, the last time.
Pull yourself together, man. The porters are waiting for us.
Porters?
Yes, it's all arranged. We've got to start immediately.
We can't.
Oh, don't be a fool. They've even been paid. They're going to take us back to Peshawar. Miss Brinklow and Barnard are staying, so it's just you and I and...
Who's been making all these plans? Who?
Lotsen. She's with the porters now. She's waiting.
Waiting?
Yes, she's coming with us.
That's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
You must take my word for it. Lotsen must never leave here.
Because you want to stay. Because you're in love with her. That's it, isn't it? That's it.
Listen to
I
me.
won't. You're in love with her.
What if I am? That's why I tell you she must stay.
You've no right to say that. Oh, Conway, listen. There isn't much time. You've got to come with us. I want to go back to get away from this place. And Lotsen, too. She's young. Doesn't that count?
Lotsen is not young.
Not young? Not young?
Lotsen came to Shangri-La in 1864.
You're raving, man.
It's the truth. Her beauty is a fragile thing. It can only live where fragile things are loved. Take her away from this valley and she will fade away like an echo.
Conway, I'm not going to waste any more time. Are you coming with us or not?
Mallinson, listen to me. I tried then to tell him about the secret of Shangri-La. He looked at me as though I were mad. And as I read the disbelief in his eyes, I began to doubt myself. When he left me, I wanted to cry out to him, to wait, that I had been mad, that the thing was too incredible even for me to believe. I waited in torture all night. And then, toward dawn, Mallinson returned.
I couldn't do it. I didn't have the nerve.
Mallinson.
Well, that place where we were roped together on the cliff, do you remember? I got as far as that, and I couldn't manage it. I was afraid. I was
Stop
afraid.
It. Stop.
Conway, you've got to go. I can't do it without you. I've depended on you. I've depended on your help in everything. You've got to help me to get out of this place.
Tell me something. Are you in love with Lotsen?
Yes. And she's in love with me.
Where is she?
Lotsen.
I'm here.
Lotsen, do you wish to leave Shangri-La?
We have tried to go. We tried to leave tonight.
You know, you understand the risk.
I love him. If he is not with me, I would die. Here.
Conway, you see, don't you?
Do you think you could manage that tricky bit with the rope if I were with you?
You mean you'll come?
Yes.
Lotsen, did you hear? He's coming. He's coming with us.
We made the descent that morning, Mallinson, the girl, and I. For weeks, we traveled toward the east. And then our porters began to desert. One by one, they disappeared. Until there were just the three of us, creeping like snails across a desert wilderness. Then, for a long while, we were only two. Mallinson had died.
Go on. There must be more, Conway. What's the rest of the story?
I don't know the rest of it. Perhaps you can help me, Rutherford.
Aye?
You found me in the hospital at Chungking. A woman had come with me.
Yes?
Did you ask? Did they tell you? Was she a young woman?
No. They said she was old. The oldest woman they had ever seen.
Ashore! Gangplank is down! Going ashore!
Conway, are you in there? The boat's docked, Conway. Conway, answer me.
I beg your pardon, sir. Are you Mr. Rutherford?
Yes?
Mr. Conway asked me to deliver this note to you.
Well, where is he?
We arrived quite early, sir. He went ashore in the tender.
My dear Rutherford, when this letter reaches you, I will be gone. Thank you for everything that you have done for me.
When this letter reaches you, I will be gone. Thank you for everything you have done for me. I can never repay you. Tomorrow, I hope to find passage back to Shanghai. Somewhere beyond Lhasa, near the foothills of the Himalayas, I seem to picture in my mind a long plateau running north. It seems to me that from the end of this plateau, I can see a mountain far away rising white against the sky. I hope to find it again, for this I think is Caracal, and beyond is Shangri-La, and the Valley of the Blue Moon.
Curtain falls, and downstage to the footlights come Ronald Colman, Donald Crisp, and Lynn Carver. Ronnie, we salute you, and the company at large for a splendid performance.
Thank you, CB, and I wish James Hilton were here so that we could thank him for giving us a story like Lost Horizon.
The most amazing thing to me is that he's made Shangri-La just as believable as Hollywood.
In some ways, a little more so.
So real that I believe some people have actually gone in search of it. The rumors of such a place keep coming from Tibet every once in a while.
I hope we haven't started anything like that tonight.
After working a year on Reap the Wild Wind, I'd like to go hunting for it myself.
Sounds like an exciting trip over Mr. Hilton's mountains by mule.
CB, I'll give you 10 minutes in Shangri-La before you start looking for camera angles.
I might surprise you, Ronnie.
And now, before we go, Mr. DeMille, I want to thank you for making my first visit to the Lux Radio Theater so pleasant. I didn't really feel like a stranger at all because I've heard the program so much, and also because I've used Lux soap for so long a time. I'd like to tell the women in the audience that it's a complexion care that's really kind to your skin. When you try Lux Soap once, you know it's what you've been looking for.
Lux Soap came, was seen, and it conquered, Lynn. If Julius Caesar's listening, my apologies.
He won't mind, CB, if only you tell us what next week's play is.
It's this week's hit in the screen world, Ronnie. A picture that's just been released. It's called Lydia, adapted from Alexander Korda's fine film production. The star is the same lovely actress you've seen, or surely will want to see in this picture, Merle Oberon. And with her, we'll present Alan Marshall, Edna May Oliver, and George Reeves from the screencast. Lydia is the story of a beautiful woman and the 4 men who loved her. The story is climaxed by the dramatic scene many years later when they all meet again. The picture's been hailed as an acting triumph, and we have the same stars here next Monday night.
I'm anxious to hear it, CB, because I've heard so much about the picture. Good night.
Good night, CB.
Good night. Good night. And may we all find Shangri-La. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Retailers for Defense Week. May I suggest that when you go shopping, you take your change in United States defense stamps. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Merle Oberon in Lydia with Alan Marshall, Edna May Oliver, and George Reeves. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
Ronald Colman is currently seen on the screen in My Life with Caroline. Donald Crisp appeared tonight through the courtesy of Warner Brothers Studio. Heard in tonight's play were Dennis Green as Mallinson, Cy Kendall as Chang, Dennis Hoy as Rutherford, and Jill Esmond, Dick Elliott, Charlie Lung, and Peter Leeds. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. Our Lux Radio Theater production of Lost Horizon has come to you with the good wishes of the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, the beauty care that 9 out of 10 Hollywood stars use to help keep their complexions beautifully clear and smooth, flawless, as every woman wants her skin to be. Your announcer is Melville Ruick, and this is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
If you enjoy this podcast and are an iTunes user, please do the show a favor and head on over to the official iTunes page for Damn Good Movie Memories. Be sure to leave a rating and a review. This will allow the show to appear higher in the algorithm and spread the joy of this podcast to the masses. If you are not an iTunes user, you can still listen and subscribe on Podbean at damngoodmoviememories.podbean.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook under our Damn Good Movie Memories page. You can also listen to a limited number of episodes on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and be sure to tune in next week for an all-new episode of Damn Good Movie Memories.